keep walking, but I do want to point out that's where the 1 o'clock Dutchess first stayed.
It's interesting to
That's
when you talk. It's still
and
good.
again, frozen to give you an idea of a spice. Again here, but either side, they look like dogs, or some people say rats, or hyenas, but either side are 2 lions. So they're 16th century lions. That's one of the lions they settled in the 16th century, but no one actually knew what a lion looked like. That was their best guess. I think it's pretty good people did not know what they were doing. There's 2 lions. Any spare money in the pot?
What have I committed this to, man?
They're on wheels. You don't need wheels. A little bit more, also, but I just want you to know that past this point,
Pardon me,
you don't need your tickets. So there's no more charges of entry. A lot of people ask me at the end, you have to pay more to go into the museums. No, you don't. And in fact, when this tour is over, I say check out all the museums you can. One of my favourite museums is where the new brick is just there. Same place where the 2 lions were, well, the 16th century lions. Inside's a nice little museum, all about the time the castle was invaded by the English. In fact, they do it in a light show, so it's very kid-friendly. And I think all museums should be kid-friendly. That way the adults can also understand what's going on. And the reason why there is new brick there is because Queen Victoria went, no, that's not big enough for me. So she added that extension. They also call it Argyll's Tower after the Earl of Argyll. Now, to tell his story, it starts with Oliver Cromwell killing King Charles I, destroying the English crown jewels, and signing the first and only republic here in Britain in 1653. And he was the Lord Protector, the head, for 5 years, and when he died, there was some excitement. People thinking, oh, we get to elect a new leader. They don't. His son Richard Cromwell became the new Lord Protector, and the British people realised they've got a king just with a different name. So that's when Charles II went to the same government that killed his father and said, can I be king? And he ends up getting the throne. But didn't mean that Cromwell's son Richard didn't have some supporters, one of them being the Earl of Argyll. He tried to fill an army against Charles, but they captured him. And the night before his execution, 2 soldiers walked into his cell there with a barrel of wine. And he asked the soldiers to drink with him. So they do. The captain of the guards walks past furious. He's like, look, I'm dead tomorrow. Do you want to drink as well? So that's when the captain also started drinking. And by the end of the night, every soldier ended up in that tiny cell just getting smashed. So that's why they call it Argyll's Tower after the party. The next day, the Earl, well, he got his head chopped off. One who got drunk with him saluted him as the head rolled away. And apparently it also rolled down the stairs you can see here, where the light post is. Now they call that stairs the Lang Stairs or the Long Stairs. But that was the very first entrance into the original fort. You see, before we expanded in 1130, the original fort was on top of the stone behind you. That black rock is what's left of a volcano which went extinct 340 million years ago. And to get to the original fort, you have to go up those stairs. Now, at the time, the stairs were so narrow, only one enemy soldier could rush up there at a time, and the way it's curved, so you can't quite see what's happening around the corner. Or, is anyone here a lefty? Do you have any left-handers here? One there, any other lefties? Oh, just back, yeah, yep, a few other lefties. I'm very sorry, you guys are in league with Satan, just to let you know. That's the thing, you weren't allowed to be a lefty back then, you had to be a right-hander. And the way that wall is designed, if you tried to swipe your sword, it would go straight into the side of the wall. We also have the sigil of Thomas Randolph. It's got the TR on it and the stag's head. That's where George R. R. Martin apparently got the Baratheon symbol from. But Thomas Randolph, he was the guy I mentioned earlier who came in with 40 men and took back Edinburgh Castle, and then Robert knocked the place to the ground. Also, in that time period, after it was knocked to the ground, they say the sheep had the castle. Very briefly, a group of Dutch mercenaries were here. This was in 1330. The Dutch mercenaries paid to fight the Scots here in Edinburgh, led by a legendary Dutch knight who was extremely tall, very strong. But the knight never took the helm or the armour off in public, so no one knew who this knight was. Now, while the Dutch were camping, the Scots attacked. The tall Dutch knight came out from one of the tents and managed to kill 30 Scottish soldiers until it took too many wounds and fell. The rest of the Dutch flee. They walk up to the knight, take the helm and armour off and go, "Oh, that's a woman." Now, if you're Game of Thrones fan, she was the inspiration for Brienne of Tarth. They heal her up and sent her back to the Netherlands. And the rest of the Dutch are on the run, and they're coming to what's left of the castle. Now, you can see there's a natural defences here. There's the cliff faces, just around trying to climb up that. But they still needed a wall on the other side. So they killed their horses and made a wall out of dead horses. Now, when the Scots got here, they were out for 2 days. That's when the white flag came up and the Dutch signed documents saying never again will they take arms against the Scottish people. Now, I also want to point out what's behind me here, known as Argyll's Battery. Now, that's what you call a defensive wall like this, facing off a cliff, a battery. And that's named for the Duke of Argyll, and to tell his story, is anyone here an Outlander fan by any chance? One over there. Okay, guys, you are allowed to like stuff. Okay, you can actually put your hand up. So, there's a lot of people. There's one, there's two, okay. Any others? Okay, at least a few. Now, I say that because quite often I say someone a fan of something, and either they sometimes step backwards and put their hand up, or they nod, or they wait until other people say yes before they do. You can like stuff, it's okay. But I just bring that up because if you watched Outlander, you know a little bit about the last uprising. But the Jacobite uprisings, they started in 1685. That's because Charles II had a lot of children, but none with his wife. So that's why his brother James VII has to take the throne. Now, very recently, he's remarried to a Catholic woman, and he's become Catholic. But they don't like Catholics, so it's okay. With his first wife, he had 2 Protestant daughters. So when he dies, we'll get a Protestant back. But then he has a son with his new wife, who he calls he calls his son James Francis, and he baptizes him a Catholic. So now there will be a Catholic dynasty. So he's thrown off the throne and replaced with a Protestant William of Orange, and a lot of people are upset by this. Some people believed in divine right. Only God gets to choose who the king is, not the government. James Lanton is Jacobi, so his supporters called themselves Jacobites. Now, in the second uprising of 1715, the Jacobites tried to storm the castle here. But according to the Duke and his men, they ran down, they fought the Jacobites, then they kicked the ladder over, and they kept the castle safe. So they named it Argyll's Battery after that fight. Decades later, we actually got the Jacobite version. According to the Jacobites, when they got here, they realised their ladder wasn't big enough, but they climbed it anyway. They got to the time trying to figure out if they could scale the rest of the wall. That's when they see someone looking over. The person runs away, comes back with a stick, and starts knocking the ladder over. So they're trying to get off the ladder as someone's whacking it. Now, eventually, so that was actually the end of the battle as soon as that battle was knocked over. But it was too late. They already named it Argyll's Battery. But now, follow me down this way. Well, yeah, west coast. Also on a completely other side, because you're also north. Yep. Okay.
You say they knocked the castle down. How'd they manage that?
Fire and water and boulders.
Okay.
You know what fire? Explain. We're smashing with groups. That's the problem. In fact, no, it's good. Yeah. No, it's cool. So we are. I'm gonna go this way. Okay, guys. So we're gonna actually head down to the west end. So follow me down this way. I'll go this way. If you heard of fire, there's a tactic they used to use called fire and water,
Sure.
where they heat something up and then hit it with cold water really fast. and
Make
then
it
hit
brittle.
Yeah, basically brittling it. So, now they also have like big, like they also try to like what's it called? We smash things like bombard doors.
Okay.
They do that, but if it was really tough, yeah, they'd use the fire and water technique to smash it down. I once read it was burnt to the ground. I'm like, you can't really burn stone.
No.
You can make an oven out of it. You can make an oven, but you can't burn it. But,
Oh.
fire, water, and bombardment. Continuous bombardment.
Those 40 fellas, they're like, wait, we have to knock this down now?
It wasn't just the 40 fel. Well, actually, 40 fel was probably part of it.
Yeah.
Robert the Bruce's men also.
They're like, I'd rather do battle than knock this down.
Exactly. Well, look, I understand why he did it. He had to get rid of the key. He couldn't hold two keys, so he may as well break the key and then only have one key. Okay, so my guys, I like that. I like this place because you can actually hide a little bit. So you can hide. Go a bit more back. Before I send you back down. A little bit about this area. First